Hey guys, this video postcard is the second in a series from our trip to Luxor, Aswan, and Abu Simbel. It will also be the first of a few from our second day on the trip, which was so full that it will require multiple postcards. I started with my two friends, Alex and Mason, with a breakfast early in the morning. We got to watch the hot air balloons rise with the sun over the Valley of the Kings, which is tucked in the hills behind us. Already, by the end of breakfast, the day was gorgeous. From there, we headed to the Valley of Kings. Good morning, guys. I am in the Valley of the Kings with Alex and with Mason, and we are going to see some royal tombs. We'll see 3, hopefully, plus King Tut, which I'm very excited for, and then some other stops along the way. The Valley of Kings is the location of at least 60 tombs of kings, queens, and nobles. Although the pyramids are gorgeous, beautiful burial locations which have lasted for millennia, they're also neon signs saying there's a dead guy buried here with lots of riches, and they were pillaged often. Later kings, especially those with connections to the ancient city of Thebes, which is now Luxor, instead chose to be buried here. It didn't fully stop the pillaging of royal tombs, but that's besides the point. Most famously, it's the location of King Tut's tomb, which we got to see, including one of his sarcophagi and his mummy. Seeing it, as you might imagine, was incredible. I was finally standing inside the tomb which had defined Egyptology for decades, which had fascinated me as a child, and one of the things which brought me here to Egypt. It was amazing to be there, although one is reminded that King Tut is not famous because he had a large tomb or because he was an important king. Rather, he's famous because his tomb was discovered in the age of photography, and the tomb had not yet been robbed. The collection was an incredible trove of artifacts and materials, and finally the public could witness the beauty of ancient Egyptian visual production. Some of these artifacts, including his gold mask, I got to see at the Egyptian Museum. Seeing his mummy outside of his coffin, but inside his burial place, caused a strange feeling of emotions, wonder and awe at the superhuman preservation, yet a deep human connection to someone who was just as mortal as we are. Perhaps more importantly, there was significant conflict about the ethics of displaying a human corpse as a tourist site, but also the ethics of hiding away extremely important historical artifacts from an often simplified history. All in all, it was an amazing emotional experience, and I can't wait to talk about it with Grandpa Neely. From there, we went to the tomb of Ramses III. I'm currently in the tomb of Ramses III, son of Ramses II, obviously one of the most famous Egyptian pharaohs of all time. Ramses III is famous for fighting off the Sea People and the Libyans in some amazing naval battles in the delta of Egypt. And so I've seen his mummy at the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, and now I'm seeing his incredibly decorated, massive tomb. It has been very rewarding to study and read about these kings, and then to see the sites, tombs, and artifacts from their reign. This tomb was especially notable for its religious depictions, an area of Egyptian history that frankly I still know nothing about, but is fascinating nonetheless. I'm very thankful to Mason and to Alex, who both filmed a lot of these tombs. That way I could just soak it in and enjoy. I was like a little kid, with my mouth hanging open at all of the amazing things around me. I've never felt the wonder that I felt in these tombs before. After Ramses III, we also went into the tomb of Tusret and Setnat. I'm currently in the tomb of Tousret and Setnat. To be totally honest, I don't know anything about either of these kings, but here I am in what is a massive, massive tomb. It's beautiful, it's incredible, it's all the adjectives that I could pull out of the dictionary, and there is, I don't want to say it, but seeing these things and seeing them the way they were, not in a museum, really makes you, I don't know, the wonder that I had as a kid, the wonder that you have at the pyramids, even as an adult, is sparked deeply, deeply here. The tomb was massive and had very pretty art throughout. As with the other tombs, I found myself craning my neck up to watch the ceiling when I probably should have been watching my step. This was the joint tomb of Tusret, one of the few female kings of Egypt, and her successor Setnat. As a whole, this tomb was less well decorated than the others, but it was cool to see a tomb that was sealed in the midst of its completion. It gave me visual reference for how ancient Egyptian art was created, and not just the final product. Our fourth tomb was that of Marimta, which would have blown my mind just a few hours before, but by then was underwhelming. It was crowded and hot and undecorated, so we moved on quickly. The best tomb we visited was the joint tomb of Ramses V and VI. It was originally built for Ramses V, but his uncle, Ramses VI, also used the tomb. All right, so I'm currently in the tomb of both Ramses believe it's the 5th and the 6th. It is the most beautiful tomb here. This might be the most beautiful, inspiring place I've been in all of Egypt. It beats the pyramids for me. Every inch of this is beautifully decorated, engraved, painted. It's got hieroglyphs, it's got images. The ceilings are gorgeous. The back room is like nothing you've ever seen before. The sarcophagus is haunting and seemingly alive. The decorations in this tomb were gorgeous. The blues and the yellows on the intricately painted ceilings have hardly faded, and they recall the night sky like nothing else I've seen in this country. The walls are decorated with images of gods and armies and mythic beasts, and at the bottom of the massive burial shaft rests a destroyed sarcophagus, reconstructed beautifully. The iPhone camera washes out the image, but being in the room yourself, the shadows cast against the walls and the face of the sarcophagus make it seem alive in the way that really only an amazing book can. More than King Tut or the pyramid or Mount Sinai, I felt a wave of emotions, wonder and respect, overwhelmed and made small in the face of things so much larger and older than I am. As I write this postcard, with only 4 days left here in my time in Egypt, I genuinely believe that this was the greatest thing I saw here. I liked it more than the pyramids or the temples or any other artifact or tomb. Out of all the things I got to experience here, it's the one I will want to return to the most, although I know that the magic of seeing it for the first time can never be recaptured. We wrapped up our visit around noon. Mason rode the tram back while Alex and I walked and took in the valley. Thank you for letting me gush about the things I have loved here. It's one of the ways I'm trying to give back to everyone and everything that made this experience possible. We still had 12 hours of sightseeing left in the day, but that's for the next video postcard. So until I post that one, much love.